Hollywood, in its golden age, was a universe built on illusion. It was a place of larger-than-life personas, meticulously crafted by studio publicists and projected onto silver screens across the world. We saw gods, goddesses, heroes, villains, vamps, ingenues. But, behind the velvet ropes and the Klieg lights, it was a town notorious for its sharp elbows, its towering egos, and its relentless pressure to succeed. The gossip columns were filled with tales of rivalries, scandals, and hearts broken by the unforgiving machinery of the studio system. When you think of on-screen integrity, it's almost impossible not to picture Gregory Peck. He was more than a leading man. He was a standard-bearer for decency in an industry often defined by its excesses. With his tall, commanding presence, his resonant voice, and his innate dignity, he embodied a noble American hero, one whose strength felt authentic and earned. His roles became cultural touchstones. As Atticus Finch in To Kill a Mockingbird, he gave a face to courage and justice. In Gentleman's Agreement, he confronted prejudice. And in Roman Holiday, he showed that a romantic lead could have a strong moral core. Peck projected a powerful moral conviction. An actor you trusted implicitly because you sensed the character's integrity was a reflection of the man's own. He was a cinematic figure who stood for what was right, a symbol of quiet strength and unwavering decency. This on-screen persona was no accident. The man behind the roles was just as honorable, living the values he projected on screen. Gregory Peck, the consummate gentleman. He moved through Hollywood with quiet grace and earned universal respect. He wasn't flashy or headline-grabbing. Instead, he was known for professionalism, humility, and a profound respect for everyone on set. Stories abound of his kindness to crew members and extras alike, treating all with equal consideration. He carried stardom not as a privilege, but as a responsibility. Born in La Jolla, shaped by a modest upbringing, instilled with work ethic and fairness. He never forgot where he came from, humility that lasted his long career. A devoted family man, a loyal friend, a tireless advocate, supporting the motion picture and television fund for decades. His legacy is not just his films, but the character of the man himself. One of the most telling stories comes from To Kill a Mockingbird, his bond with young Mary Badham, who played Scout. Throughout the shoot, he was patient, paternal, protective. After he won Best Actor, he kept Atticus's pocket watch close for the rest of his life. Decades later, Mary still called him Atticus. He had been a father figure in real life. Peck was generous with fans. He lingered after appearances, signing and talking. He didn't just scribble. He asked names, hometowns, and listened. People left astounded by his sincerity. During the Hollywood blacklist, when many were afraid, Peck publicly condemned the witch hunt. He helped found the Committee for the First Amendment. Actors, writers, directors defending the targeted. It was risky, but he chose justice and loyalty over safety. His kindness wasn't mere pleasantness. It came from an unshakable moral core. He respected everyone, because he believed everyone deserved it. His goodness was the essence of his character, a pillar of integrity whose decency finished first. Gregory Peck's kindness was quiet, steadfast integrity. In an era of Hollywood bombshells, few stars captured the world's heart like Audrey Hepburn. She offered something different, a refreshingly authentic spirit. With her large, expressive doe eyes, her slender, gamine figure, and a radiant smile, she was the epitome of elegance and grace. Her unique look broke the mold. Her Oscar-winning role in Roman Holiday introduced a relatable princess, a breath of fresh air. Charming and full of life, she instantly won the public's adoration. She redefined glamour with chic sophistication, becoming a timeless fashion icon whose collaboration with designer Hubert de Givenchy created some of cinema's most memorable looks. But behind that chic exterior was a heart profoundly shaped by suffering. As a child in the Nazi-occupied Netherlands, she endured war and famine, experiences that forged a deep, unshakable empathy for children in need. Her kindness came from genuine adversity, not a Hollywood script. That history gave her grace real depth. So when her film career slowed, she poured her energy into a new purpose. In 1988, she became a UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador. For Audrey, this wasn't a hobby. It was a profound calling. She traveled tirelessly to impoverished, war-torn places, Ethiopia, Vietnam, Somalia, using her fame to spotlight the silent suffering of children from famine and disease. Her work revealed her true character, hands-on, never a detached figurehead. She knelt in the dust, held sick children, and spoke for those without a voice. She brought sincerity, using her celebrity to serve humanity. Her kindness was active compassion, transforming a movie star into a global humanitarian whose legacy is defined as much by her heart as by her art. On set, Audrey was professional and never a diva. When told her singing would be dubbed, she was disappointed, but remained gracious, thanking Marni Nixon for making her sound beautiful. She later gifted Nixon a lovely piece of jewelry. Respect for those in the shadows. A boy once wrote her a letter and received a personal handwritten reply. Years later, as a waiter, he mentioned the note, and she remembered details, making him feel like the most important person in the room. On UNICEF missions, she sat on dirt floors and in makeshift hospitals, simply holding children. Photographers often caught tears in her eyes. Her son Sean said it was deeply personal. She urged world leaders to send aid. What made her kindness special was its elegance and its fierce empathy. Her kindness was a force for good, true style as compassion, changing the world one life at a time. Her legacy proves one heart with determination can make a global difference. Jimmy Stewart was Hollywood's ultimate everyman. In an era of polished icons, he was a reflection of the best in us, not the most glamorous, but instantly genuine. With his lanky frame, his folksy drawl, and that hesitant cadence, he seemed to think through every word. That famous stammer wasn't an affectation, it was a window into a mind always considering, always feeling. He felt like one of us, the neighbor with a cup of sugar, the friend you could always count on. On screen, he played decent, ordinary men in extraordinary moments, from Jefferson Smith to George Bailey. He showed us that heroism wasn't about being flawless, but about trying to do the right thing, even when it was hard. He came from a small Pennsylvania town, and never lost its values. He lived in the same home for nearly 50 years, married to Gloria for 45. Their partnership was a quiet anchor in a turbulent industry. He avoided the party scene for evenings with family and close friends. His humility was legendary. At the peak of his stardom, he paused his soaring career to enlist in the Army Air Corps. Initially rejected for being underweight, he was so determined to serve that he worked to meet the requirements. He flew 20 combat missions over Germany, rose to colonel, and earned numerous medals, yet downplayed it all, insisting he was just a man doing his duty. His kindness was quiet and dependable. On set, he made a point of learning the names of every crew member, offering kind words for everyone. True strength wasn't being the loudest, but the most reliable, the most decent, the most himself. A devoted husband and father, a good man, through and through. The man on screen was the man in life. His legacy reminds us decency and humility are timeless. During The Spirit of St. Louis, the crew toiled in a cramped plane set, exhausted and uncomfortable. Stewart stayed with them, sharing the squeeze, telling stories, lifting spirits. He made it clear, they were a team. His raw prayer in "It's a Wonderful Life" came from a veteran newly home, wrestling with wounds we now call PTSD. Capra said Jimmy was praying for his own peace. That vulnerability has given millions hope for generations. For decades, he mentored with the Boy Scouts, honor, duty, service. Not a figurehead, he showed up, spoke from the heart. Another way to serve, like he always had. Grace Kelly said he was that rare thing, exactly what he appeared to be. A loyal friend, a devoted family man, a true American hero whose kindness spoke softly and carried far. He didn't proclaim virtues, he lived them every day. Bette Davis. Sweet isn't the first word that comes to mind. On screen she was formidable, precise diction, famous eyes, a take-no-prisoners attitude. She specialized in complex, difficult women, indelible and uncompromising. In a town that preferred agreeable actresses, she was ambitious, outspoken, called difficult. Behind that exterior, surprising warmth, fierce loyalty, and generosity. She fought for better roles and creative freedom, suing her studio. A tireless patriot, she showed up for service members and fellow actors. Her kindness wasn't soft, it was fierce, protective, powerful. She co-founded and led the Hollywood Canteen during WOW, offering free food, dancing, and entertainment to departing troops. She organized, recruited, and showed up night after night, washing dishes, bussing tables, and dancing with the lonely. On the Whales of August, she protected a frail Lillian Gish, comfort, lines, defense. Not the diva of headlines, but a loyal colleague who looked out for her own. A fiery spirit channeled into generosity. The Golden Age can feel like a distant, glittering dream, figures more myth than mortal. Yet the stories of Gregory Peck, Audrey Hepburn, James Stewart, and even Bette Davis reveal profound humanity. True stardom isn't receipts or awards. It's the positive impact on others. Peck taught that kindness is moral courage in action. Hepburn showed elegance paired with empathy. Stewart embodied humble strength that never forgot its roots. Davis proved a fierce spirit can fiercely protect. Their films enchant us still, but their kindness offers a blueprint for a life of purpose. They use platforms to lift others, stand for principles, and comfort the vulnerable. In a cynical world, their stories warm and inspire. Today, these legends feel as relevant as ever. They shone not only by the light on the screen, but by the light within. Their greatest performances, it turns out, were the lives they led off camera.